Hello, viewers. Welcome to TV Metro Mail. You are watching Diversity Delight. Today, we are going to celebrate our diversity. Today, we are going to celebrate the Canadian Multiculturalism Day. Today is 27th June 2020. Every year on this day, we celebrate this Canadian Multiculturalism Day. And this year also we are doing it, but this year it is in a bit different way. We all are online. I'm very happy that we have number of guests today with us. Those who are waiting in our studio, we will bring them on one by one. Our first segment, we have three segments for this whole Diversity Delight program. The first segment is Diversity Delight, where we will have conversation with our guests. We'll have some performances. As you can see that our performers, they are already ready with their instruments and their preparation. So Safia, if you start, if we can start with you, that since we are celebrating multiculturalism, since we will be talking about diversity, so I would like to ask you, when you hear the word multiculturalism or diversity, what comes to your mind?
I think about how like in Canada, there's a lot of different people from different backgrounds, different religions, different ethnicities, different sexualities, all the different types of people that make up our community and make up who we are. And we all get to learn different things about the different people around us.
Do you have any specific experience that, with regard to the multiculturalism that you have faced or you have gone through?
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, we always had like Disney movies and like different shows just to show us like, for entertainment when we were little. And like before, like a few years ago when I was little, like a little kid, there would always be like simply just like white, blonde hair, blue eyes, just the basic kind of girl that society tries to show us. But then recently there's been like more diverse princesses and like princes and like other things like that, like Mulan, Jasmine, Pocahontas, just to name a few. So it's like it's great that now in this generation our daughters and sons, they're going to be raised with entertainment that gives them representation of people like them so they don't feel excluded.
So if I ask you that, we often say that the multiculturalism is our strength. So what is the beauty of the multiculturalism?
The beauty of it, I would say, is that we all get to try different things that we would never get to try otherwise. For example, if we were in a country or in a community that only had the same race of people, then we would never get to try the different foods. We would never get to listen to their beautiful languages or their different songs, or we would never get to see their beautiful culture on TV, or we wouldn't be able to try out their beautiful clothing, for example. It would just be a very boring life because we wouldn't have anyone different from us.
Okay, thank you very much. So lastly, do you have faced any, or do you think that there is any challenge with regard to the multiculturalism that sometimes you feel stressed?
Yeah, for sure. There's still, unfortunately, some people in the year 2020 who are racist or they're prejudiced, like they're biased towards other people, and they just make it like a negative community for everyone. But like recently there's been like Black Lives Matter protests and like just different protests that's been going on, and I feel like in a few years like there will be real change and racism will be dropped a lot. And like as a hijabi woman, sometimes I do face like discrimination, but like it's just out of like negative like hate from their heart and from their lives. But I do have hope that it's going to get better and that like no one will be as rude or as hateful as they are now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Safia Tasneem Rukunti. We may come back to you, and Dolly Begum will come back to you with regard to those issues. But before that, we like to hear from our friends, those who are waiting in a park.
Солнечный круг, небо вокруг, это рисунок мальчишки. Нарисовала на листке и подписал в уголке. Пусть всегда будет солнце, Пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я, пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Милый мой друг, добрый мой друг, людям так хочется мира. И в 35 сердце опять не устает повторять. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Тише, солдат, слышишь, солдат, люди пугаются взрывов. Тысяча глаз в небо глядят, губы упрямо твердят. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Против войны, встанем за наших мальчишек. Солнце навек, счастье навек, так повелел человек. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я. Пусть всегда будет солнце, пусть всегда будет небо, пусть всегда будет мама, пусть всегда буду я.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kids Union Butterfly, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Viewers, we were just listening to their song Kids Union Butterfly. They are in a park, but thank you very much, all for their efforts. So they could have, they have joined from the park. That's why the quality of sound, we had to compromise with that, but it was okay. Lovely kids. Now we'll have another song from Binita Karmakar. Then we also have Rushad Rakimov, a very famous, popular accordion. So we'll listen to his play as well. But and we have MPP Dolly Begum. We have number of issues to discuss with Dolly Begum. But before going into that, Binita Karmakar, I would like to request you to start your performance.
ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গো খাপা ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গো আমরা পাবো না আর পাবো না তোমায় দিক মাঝারে রাখবো ছেড়ে দেব না তোমায় দিক মাঝারে রাখবো ছেড়ে দেব না ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গুণ আর পাবো না ছেড়ে দিলে সোনার গুণ আর পাবো না 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 আর পাবো না তোমায় দিক মাঝারে রাখবো ছেড়ে দেব না তোমায় দিক মাঝারে
Да.
Thank you very much, Binita. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And viewers, those who are watching us right now, just to let you know that you are watching Diversity Delight, our program to celebrate Canadian Multiculturalism Day. Today is 27th June. We have a big lineup. In fact, our number of guests and our performers, they are waiting in our studio. So we'll bring them back one by one. Now I'd like to go to Dolly Begum, MPP Dolly Begum. She is with us. I can see her. So Dolly, thank you very much for joining us here today. And as you can see that we are celebrating Canadian Multiculturalism Day in a limited effort, because we don't go out, we don't because of the social distancing issues and because of the coronavirus situation. So what is the best way to celebrate Canadian Multiculturalism Day during this time? What is your thought? What is your take on this?
Well, thank you so much to RMM and PACE and to all the organizers. Shobaike onek onek dhonnobad. Thank you for organizing this. This is, I think, right now, for everything that we're facing right now, this is a great platform to celebrate multiculturalism, to advance Welcome Canada Day, but because as you know, we are facing, at the risk of sounding repetitive, we're facing a very unprecedented time right now. And what's happening with the entire world, we're dealing with a global pandemic. And the number one, the key issue for us right now is to make sure, well, the key factor in terms of keeping each other safe is to make sure that we're following the guidelines of Toronto Public Health, of our public health officials, and doing all the necessary things to keep each other safe, making sure that we're keeping our family members, our community, all of us safe by doing all the things like social distancing, like sanitization. And so virtual ways of celebration, meeting each other, engaging, is fantastic. And I just want to say I was enjoying the different cultural aspects that you always manage to pull together during multicultural events that you host. I'm missing last year, because last year you had a really grand event. And I remember on Canada Day, I was going from one corner of Scarborough to another corner, celebrating, starting with pancake breakfast with a Legion Hall to a big event at the park in the Rouge Park, as well as coming back to Barchmount Plaza, and then we were at the library. So every year we have some grand celebrations happening, and it's very unfortunate. It's saddening that we're not able to do the same thing. But this is a great way for us to continue to do what we're doing, because we also have to be very mindful of keeping each other safe. And obviously, we're opening up things slowly. So hopefully, we'll get there.
Thank you very much, MPP Dolly Begum. We often say that when the multiculturalism issues comes to our mind, or when we talk about multiculturalism or diversity, we always say that multiculturalism and diversity is our strength. Why do we say so? How it is our strength?
Well, thank you. I think we can see the strength right here. On this screen, we were listening to different language music. I was listening to the Russian as well as the Bangladeshi song that I'm a big fan of. And that shows how powerful it is to celebrate the different multicultural aspect that we have. And Canada is one of those mosaic that we call it. We don't call it a melting pot, because we want to make sure that you can see each of the different cultural, diverse communities that are visible in this country. And that's how we celebrate them. That's how we empower them. And I would add that each of these different communities strengthen this province and this country through their contribution. This month, actually, just the month of June, is Filipino Heritage Month, for example. And we have seen the contribution the Filipino community has done to our long-term care homes, through PSWs, nurses. A lot of these members of the community who have given their life. We have lost a few through their work because they were risking their life to save all of us. And if that isn't strength in our community, then I don't know what is. So at so many levels, different communities, our Bangladeshi community has done so much to help each other, and that's how they empower the community. So it's remarkable.
How have you experienced, the multiculturalism over the years? Because you have come here, at your early age, and then you have grown up here, and now you are the MPP of Scarborough Southwest. So how do you see the whole thing, the multiculturalism, before 10 years or 15 years or 20 years ago, it was the same, or it is different now?
Well, I should share a story to all the viewers that are listening. I came in 1999, which was more than 20 years ago. And I didn't speak a word of English. It was a very, very daunting experience. And the first week that I came, obviously coming from a warm country in Bangladesh to a very cold country where you have snow for the first time, you're seeing snow for the first time. It was very difficult. But I wanna share with you something that very few people know, which was the first week that I came. I was walking down Danforth, actually a place that we now know as in Banglatown. I was walking down Danforth wearing a salwar kameez, and a group of men who drove by yelled and said, "Go back home, Paki." And I still remember that experience, and how I think it has never left me. The way I felt. I had one of my mom's friend who was taking us out for that day. I still remember how I felt, and how it left a scar, I think, for me, especially right at the beginning. And that experience was very true for a lot of people who were coming to this country. And we have to recognize the fact that we're living in a country that the original people of this country are the indigenous people, the native people, the different indigenous communities that live across this country, and actually in our city, and in Scarborough Southwest, I have almost about 1,700 or so. The fact that I had to face that, and I realized that many others are facing that, was a reality, which showed that there has been different levels of experience for immigrants coming in. But as we went through the years, there have been so many different ways we have improved, and we have broke certain barriers and educated each other, and broke down a lot of different ways we can fight racism, discrimination, and a lot of these issues that immigrant communities face. And I would say, the fact that I was able to be elected and I sit in a legislature where the walls still have a lot of white men who are whose pictures are as I walk through the hallways of the Ontario legislature. Sometimes I look at myself and you don't really see yourself in those pictures. And I think that experience is really something to be reflective of, because I hope that one day I will have, people of color, women of color sitting next to me in the legislature, doing the things that they need to do to make policies and reflecting and celebrating the communities and making sure that their community is represented in them. And that is, I think, achievement. I think it's so powerful, our community, in so many different levels.
Thank you very much, Dolly Begum. Thank you very much. I am sure that things are not the same now. It has improved a lot, and we see number of people, they are working in this field. I mean, the creating the positive environment so that the multiculturalism or diversity is a strength, as we said, that it really means that it is our strength. And that's why we see number of organizations also working around us. And today also the two young lady, those who performed here early part of the program, they were also from a small organization called Kelaghar Mission Toronto. So like there are number of organization, number of people, they are contributing to develop this community stronger. And now we have Rushad Rakimov, is a very famous, very popular among his community, but let's listen to his music.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting me. Thanks for Mustafa that he invited me to this very nice program. I'm so happy to hear that this is about the multiculturalism, and thank you very much to keep us for keeping us united, all our cultures in here in Canada. Thank you so much. And I'm going to perform first a Russian very famous song. It calls Katyusha, and then it will be Smuglanka. So it's going to be two songs in one. I will try my best.
Лили приходила на берег Катюша,
на высокий берег на крутой.
приходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег на крутой. Приходила, песню заводила, распевала про того, которого любила, про того, не письма берегла.
Wow, thank you very much, Rushad Rakimov. So
the second song will be, it's from my born country, Russia. I'm from Bashkortostan Republic, and it's a little bit different from Russian music. So I'm going to share with you. Tatar national music.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rushad. Thank you very much for joining us here today. It was wonderful.
Thank you.